Yo, what up, y'all? We are back at it again. I'm gonna jump straight into this because I feel like everyone here has heard the advice, just focus on the positives. Or how do you avoid the negative feedback? Do it at all costs, whatever you do. But I gotta ask myself, like, what if what if that advice is actually wrong? I'm not saying it is, but just what if? I feel like this is why it's important that we have to dive into the world of feedback where it becomes more focused on the truth, more focused on the complexity, and ultimately just gaining power from feedback. Because many of you all probably believe that feedback is just purely subjective, that it's less than the truth and it's people pointing fingers and playing the blame game. And that's because you all claim that focusing on weakness is way too threatening. And a lot of people believe that they should only build their strengths and only focus on their strengths. I get it, but this often does come from a negative experience. Maybe someone gave someone harsh criticism that really just left them feeling deflated. That happens a lot when someone gives you like really direct feedback and then you're, man, I don't know what to do. Or you get that performance review that just feels super critical. And then, or you might feel it's unfair and it bothers you a lot. That's where it sinks in too much. But the reality is that it's actually a little bit more nuanced because feedback is actually influenced by individual perspective and it's actually invaluable. You got to look at feedback as a window into how other people perceive you. It's free game. It's free knowledge on how you can be better. It doesn't mean you have to accustom yourself to everybody and what everybody else's needs are, but think about it. Really think about this. Decisions are going to be made based on how others perceive you anyways. So you want to know who got promoted, who got the deal, who made the sale, who's the one that's trusted with the keys of responsibility, who's going to make the big bag. All of these decisions are really, maybe not all of them, but a lot of times they're often going to be influenced by how your peers, your clients, your higher ups, your lowers, your reports, etc., how they view your performance, how they view your communication style, how they view your leadership abilities. Now, does that mean we should only focus on the negative? No, I'm not saying we focus on the negative only, because I do believe that positive feedback is going to be essential for reinforcement and motivation. Reward people for doing what you like because it does help people understand what they're doing well. It also does encourage them to continue those behaviors, but you have to do that, repeatedly. But if you're going to ignore weaknesses, I think this could be very detrimental because it's like trying to build a house on a crappy foundation. And I say that all the time. You have to have a strong foundation, no matter how beautiful the exterior is, no matter how nice that old school car is. If the interior is messed up or the foundation is crappy, it's going to crumble. So addressing weakness, while it could be hard, it does get challenging, it is crucial for long-term growth and success. So you have to focus on getting other people stronger. But then you're going to ask yourself, what does good feedback actually look like? I like to think of good feedback as not really just saying, hey, fix this. Hey, this is your flaw. Hey, you're doing this wrong, because that kind of just leads to people getting defensive. And then they get resistant. And then they actually don't listen and they don't take in what you're trying to communicate. So really what I like to do is think about fostering reflection and then empowering people to find their own solutions. You could say, what do you think about that? Give them the feedback and say, well, what's your thoughts on this? So think of, instead of saying something like, hey, you need to be more structured or you need to be more assertive, you can ask them like, what were some of the challenges that you faced in that meeting? How could you have communicated your ideas more effectively? What do you think could have been better? So when you have this approach, what that does, it kind of encourages self-awareness and allows individual to, it just allows that individual development. Because really what it's about is creating a safe and supportive environment. Like I talk about in the other videos, you have to create that safe space where individuals can learn and grow, but without fear of judgment or criticism. Even though some people love criticism. I was just in a meeting where someone said, criticize me, give it to me, I love it. But that's where you have to think about things like situational behavior impact. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but the SBI Framework, it's basically just a tool for delivering feedback that's clear, specific, professional, and caring. Simple as that. SBI. So first, when I say that, you want to identify the situation. So you think about what are the specific time and places that the behavior occurred, and what is it really? So like, what happened? And kind of go into detail if you can. Then what you want to do is describe the behavior. What did you see? What did you hear? What was the tone? Avoid like just assumptions and things like that, and just focus on concrete examples, things that actually happen. And then lastly, you want to go into the actual impact. And this is where you have to ask yourself, like, how did that behavior actually affect you, or affect your thoughts or your feelings, or how you reacted? What this is going to do is help the person that you're giving the feedback, or the receiver, the opportunity to see how their consequences and their behaviors impact other people. Now, if we were to use an example, let's just say, let's say at work you're in a team brainstorming meeting and you're running some new internal campaign when, give me a name, Julie was sharing her ideas, and then you're constantly cutting her off and redirecting the conversation. And this probably made Julie feel unheard. It probably also made the rest of the team seem hesitant to contribute more ideas, which makes other people feel concerned that you're going to be missing out on potential solutions and ideas. Now, I will say that many people do fear negative feedback. And the reason why they fear it is because they feel like it's going to damage relationships, hurt feelings, make people resentful, or even jeopardize their career. But I feel like when it's actually delivered in a constructive manner, feedback can actually be extremely, extremely powerful for growth and development. So you have to think about giving constructive feedback. I do have a book that I really love that I'd recommend, but we got to get there first. I'm going to give you guys a list of books that I love that help with all this stuff. And maybe I'll have it. Well, anyways, we'll get there later. We'll talk about the books later. What I'm getting at now is you want to be able to provide valuable insights and then help individuals reach their full potential. Kind of like what we talk about in this channel, really, right? You know, activating your potential. Now, when you receive feedback, on the other hand, you have to try to listen with an open mind, and then also acknowledge that what you're hearing is the other person's perspective, even if you don't agree with it, right? It's their movie. It's how they're seeing things and how they're receiving it. Sorry. So like I said, it's their movie. It's how they're receiving it. And when you get your feedback, it's okay to ask clarifying questions. But then what you're going to want to do is use that feedback for an opportunity for reflection and growth. So you have to do that for yourself. Now, I'm going to keep this short, but for your homework, I want you to actually think about and just reflect on maybe a recent interaction or something that happened recently where you received or gave feedback. I have some in the back of my mind, but then ask yourself, how did that interaction go? What do you think could have been done differently? And how could you have used the SBI framework to improve that feedback if you were to do it again? So keep it simple, keep it light, do your homework, and I hope this topic about feedback is helpful for you all. Maybe you're going to get your own, just by watching this, you're probably getting feedback about yourself on how you receive and give feedback. So go make the changes that are needed for yourself and go improve yourself, because giving and receiving feedback effectively is going to be a crucial skill for success in any area of life, whether it's personal, professional, social, whatever. It is going to help you build trust. It's going to help you build stronger just improvement and learning opportunities. And it's going to help you build better relationships. Now, if this video did you any justice, or you did get any gems, or you feel like, shit, I just got some feedback about myself, like this video, subscribe to the channel, watch the whole video. Matter of fact, I need you all to start subscribing more. Those subscriptions and everything are going to help. All right, so go ahead and subscribe to the channel, share this video, and I'll see you in the next one. I appreciate y'all.